Hello and welcome to my channel, The Way What Is Truth. Remember to like and subscribe and comment down below. Now today I'm going to do a relatively short video about all of the Saudi Arabia flooding that's been happening for quite some time now. And yes, I'm going to read out of Isaiah 43 verse 16 all the way to 21. But before I get to that, I'm going to go over this conspiracy theory known as the HAARP conspiracy theory, and a lot of people seem to think that it could well be HAARP who are causing all of the flooding in the Saudi Arabian deserts, okay? And I'm here to tell you that's just not the case. I'm about 99% certain it's not HAARP, okay? And I'll tell you why. And to aid me, I've got this article out of The Observers, France 24 The Observers. Okay, and the title of the article is this: Controlling the Weather, ? The Limitations of the HAARP Conspiracy Theory. Now, before I go any further, yes, I do believe that God could well be using climate change, because a lot of people think, oh, it's not climate change that's causing all of the flooding in the Saudi Arabian desert, it's God. Who's to say God isn't using climate change? You see, sometimes something can be one and the same thing. We've got to be careful, you know, because God uses bad things to make good things happen, and He uses whatever He has to use. He uses people to carry out His will. He uses the climate, the weather, all sorts of things. Of course, God does intervene Himself and do things Himself specifically. So whether it's HAARP, climate change, or simply God, or global warming, or whatever the heck it is, what matters is that Isaiah 43 verse 16 to 21 is being carried out. Anyway, without further ado, I'm going to read out of this France 24 The Observers article here. And this article was written on the 5th of the 11th, 2021 at 12:57. Okay, and it was modified on the 5th of the 11th, 2021, 12:59. So obviously they made a little mistake. So within that 2-minute period, they modified it. They edited it for some reason. I don't know why. Anyway, it goes on to say this. I'm going to try and read this as thoroughly and as fast as I can, because I don't want this video to drag on. I know how these things can get sometimes. So here goes. Forest fires, floods and hurricanes. For some, all the natural disasters we saw last summer are linked to the same thing, a secret climate-controlling weapon supposedly belonging to the US Army named HAARP. The Truth or Fake team take a closer look at this conspiracy theory. Now, just bear something in mind. Sometimes conspiracy theories are true, but that's only in a minority of the cases. The vast majority of the time, conspiracy theories are usually false, okay? But I do like to be open-minded, but I'm no fool either. Anyway, so from deadly floods in China to massive forest fires in Turkey, people online have been talking about the natural disasters we saw in the summer of 2021. But some, especially on TikTok and Twitter, are saying weather events like these are caused by something called HAARP, a so-called climate control device used by the US government, okay? HAARP stands for High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, a project based in an observatory in Alaska that studies the upper atmosphere using radio transmitters. These devices heat up small parts of the air above the site. But the science behind the program is complex and has given rise to numerous far-fetched theories. The Truth or Fake team spoke to Mick West, a science writer who specialises in this type of conspiracy theory. And this is what Mick West says about it. The way to debunk the HAARP conspiracy theory is trying to explain to people exactly what it does. Explain to them that it's just a radio transmitter that is in one location in Alaska and it can only affect a small amount of the air above it. Explain that the actual power used by this radio transmitter is very, very small compared to what you would actually need if you actually wanted to do some of the things that are being suggested. Okay, so that means to say it is possible to do those things, but the actual HAARP team aren't doing it. So it's not complete and utter tosh and science fiction, but all these conspiracy theories in my mind around HAARP are complete and utter tosh. But it's not that it's not possible, it's just that it's not happening. There's a difference, okay? Anyway, still, some supporters of the theory believe there are HAARP devices hidden all over the world. Well, that's just conjecture, isn't it? Unless they've got concrete proof of that, of these HAARP devices hidden all over the world, then it's just hearsay. They've even taken some videos out of context to convince others of the existence of this secret weapon. That's what happened with a video of an electrical installation in Brazil being torn down in 2017. I can't help but chuckle a bit there. Some said the installation was actually HAARP antenna. What can you say? The teams working on HAARP know about the many rumours and theories swirling around the project and therefore try to answer as many questions as possible about their work. On the FAQ on their website, they answer questions such as, is HAARP creating chemtrails? And they even open their doors once a year to show people the work they're really doing in Alaska. But as Nick West explains, the idea that humans can control aspects of the weather is not completely far-fetched. In fact, that's what I said earlier on. Okay, and I hadn't even read that part of the article when I said that. I just figured that out. I don't think it's impossible. I just don't think it's likely. Anyway, some countries such as China and Russia have been working on projects to control weather for several years. But for the moment, we only have the technology to do things like creating rain or dispersing fog on a small scale. Right? But geoengineering, or the process of modifying the climate on a much larger scale, is an avenue that is being studied more and more. Now, this is something that I'm not sure we should be doing. It's called playing God, okay? I definitely don't like the sound of this at all, but you may disagree with me. Feel free to comment down below. Anyway, for example, some scientists are working on ideas such as spraying particles into the sky to block sunlight to combat global warming, or modifying the trajectory of hurricanes, but they haven't had very convincing results to date. Look, some people might be well-meaning behind all this geoengineering and everything, but the way I see it is that we should just leave it well alone. Our time is better off praying to the Lord God Almighty, okay, for his mercy for the nations to change their ways, for goodness sake. It's like starting a forest fire and then saying, we'll just get a few buckets and try and put the forest fire out. No, get to the root of the problem first. The sin and rebellion of the nations, our behaviour, our hearts and minds need to change. All the countries and nations and towns and villages and tribes all over the world, the cities need to turn back to God. That's the answer. Well, that is the real answer to all this. Anyway, that's the end of the article. So I hope you found that interesting. Let me just click that off there. Anyway, now I'm going to read out of Isaiah. And like I said earlier on, I think it's perfectly possible that God is using climate change in order to carry out his will. And even if it's not climate change or global warming, and by the way, climate change and global warming are two distinct different things. Don't confuse the two, okay? Anyway, whether it's climate change, or dare I say it, HAARP, I don't think it is. I'm about 98-99% certain it's not. But whether it's climate change, HAARP, or global warming, whatever it is, God's will is being carried out. So, Isaiah, or as the Americans say, Isaiah, I prefer to say it Isaiah. Isaiah 43, verse 16 to 21. Now listen to this carefully. Thus says the Lord, who makes a way in the sea and a path through the mighty waters, who brings forth the chariots and horse, the army and the power. They shall lie down together, they shall not rise. They are extinguished, they are quenched like a wick. Do you not remember the former things, nor consider the things of old? Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall you not know it? I will even make a road in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. Okay, and that's what's happening now. The beasts of the field will honour me, the jackals and the ostriches, because I give waters in the wilderness and rivers in the desert, to give drink to my people, my chosen. This people I have formed for myself. They shall declare my praise. Okay. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Yes, and it's also written in the Bible that God is going to expand Israel's borders. In fact, it more or less says that here, but I think there might be one or two other places in the Bible. You'll have to correct me if I'm wrong about that. But what's clear to me is that God is expanding Israel's borders to get ready for the future, because he wants it to be bigger than it is now. Okay, and lots of very interesting things are happening. We had that snow bomb in America. If you want to talk about that, perhaps you was caught up in that snow bomb and you want to talk about it, chat down below. And what did you experience in that snow bomb that hit America? And I believe that more snow has either hit America now or is going to hit it in the near future as well. So tell me about whatever experiences you yourself may have had with extreme weather. And yeah, it's crazy. The weather around the world right now is very, very extreme. I use the example of the snow bomb that hit America. Apparently, the UK is supposed to be getting a little bit of snow, but come on, I'm living in the East Midlands here. Unless God himself stretched his hand out and actually forced it to snow here in the East Midlands. I mean, don't get me wrong. Although I think the weather where I live in Nottingham in the East Midlands is rather boring and rather plain, but you know, I mean, a lot of people would love a bit of boring because they've been through terrible hardships. And some people have gone through extreme heat in some parts of this world. Some people have gone through extreme flooding. Some people have gone through extreme snow, like the United States of America. It's all happening right now. So definitely, I'd love for there to be as many comments as possible down below in this video of people telling me what they've experienced of extreme weather. And perhaps you want to talk to me a little bit about what's going on in Saudi Arabia with all the flooding that's going on in the deserts there and how it relates to what's written in Isaiah. Okay, so as usual, you can talk to me about whatever you want down below in the comment section. It doesn't have to be something that's related to this video. If you want me to pray about someone or about something, then tell me. If you want to chat about anything at all, tell me. And don't forget my community community page where I have put a prayer wall there. If you just go down a little bit, you'll find it, okay? So if you've got anything you want me to pray about personally, then drop it onto that prayer wall that I've created on my community page, okay? Anyway, bye-bye and take care.